This video is in continuation to the last video where we have stopped for loop operation. So there I am saying the advantage of using for loop over accessing each and every property of the array of objects via its index. So we are saying advantages of for loop over accessing via index, right? So looping is very convenient, right? So I have now an array of objects. I am able to iterate over the array. So I am calling properties of each object, naming price and name, price and quantity, so by using dot operator, as simple as that. So let's look at how I am doing the same with for each method. Okay, you know the for each method, right? For each method, which is predominantly used for arrays. For each is an iterator available for us over arrays, right? So here the array of objects remains the same. We are using the same products array. So I'm saying products dot for each. So I'm applying for each method over products array. Okay, so it takes a function as an argument. For each takes a callback function once for every element in that array. So I'm just giving, this is syntax of for each method, right? So basically I want to pass the function here and it takes an argument. So for each takes a callback function as an argument as once for each and every element in the array. So basically I want to pass the function. This function gets called for every element. This function gets called for every element in the array. The value at 0th index is this object. The value at 0th index is the object which we are referring here for the first time, and for the second time this product value becomes the value at the second index, that is the first index. Second object, that is the first index. So here first time Air Max 2017 details will be passed here as product, and second time MacBook Pro details information is getting passed here. So here we are trying to access each and every element in the array via its element. Here the object is assigned as product. Now for each method, entire object is passed as argument at once. So first time shoes product is passed, second time MacBook Pro product is passed as argument at every iteration. So since the array is named as products, I am calling it as product here. So it is basically singular of the array name. So here it is products, right? We are calling it as product. In the next example we'll be looking as employees, and here we'll consider employee. That is in the next video. Okay, so I am basically using singular here as an argument name. Products dot for each of function of this is an anonymous function. It do not have any name, and it is taking product, each object, as an argument, and it iterates over that object once for every single time. Okay, so that is how for each method works. Don't worry about that now. We'll anyhow demonstrate it when it comes to the time of for each mechanism or for each method when we are looking deep into arrays in level 2 section of the course. So here you can see that each product is nothing but an object, and on that object I can call one of the properties called as name using dot operator. So I'm trying to access the name. I'm just printing console.log of product.name. So when I run this piece of code, it is coming and telling us that it is printing the product name here. So I'm looking for each method, right? I'm just giving a heading called as for each method. This is for loop, right? I'm giving heading called as for loop. So now see the differences. So for loop we'll also print let's say price, product dot price. So you can see, right, there is no difference between for loop method and for each method. Technically there is difference, but visually or what we can see, there is no difference, right? So it is trying when it does the same thing as for loop, but the only difference here is while we are looping it always works at the index level. So in for loop it is always working at the index level, so it is considering the value at 0th index first and then at the first index for the second time, and the condition is it is looping up to the length of the products. So here it is looping two times, right? And then we are incrementing. For the first time it is 0, right? For the second time it has to be 1. So how it is moving to 1? Since we are using incrementing I plus plus. But all these three things are taken care by this for each method, so we are not doing anything here. We are just passing that function as an argument once for every time in this particular array of objects. So everything is taken care by the for each method. So for each method is more popular and convenient than for loop method. Okay, so for loop starts at 0th index in this case and goes up to the length of the array. But while using for each, I'm just repeating, but while using for each method, that element is passed as argument here once for each iteration, and we can access it directly. And since this element is passed as an object, we can access its properties, right? We have name property and we have price property. We are just displaying it using console.log. Now I know this will take some time for the concepts to sink in for you. I highly recommend you watch this video 2 or 3 more times better to get a better understanding or better clarity of what is happening. So if you have any doubts, kindly reach out to me, and we have to clear all the doubts instantly for these two concepts. One is like creating an empty object or creating a single object, and this one is array of objects. For both the topics you have to be very very clear to help you understand 70% of the course. I'll see you in the next class. Thank you.